Okay, so I already told you what brushes would definitely come in handy if you had. I explained to you the importance of brushes. Now we're gonna dive into everyday makeup. This is not gonna be a fancy video with like all this stuff. It's gonna be super simple and but it's gonna be great because everyday makeup is awesome. And I just have a couple of tips before I jump into what I actually do, because remember, everybody is different. Your everyday makeup may not be the same as someone else's. So it all just kind of depends. Everyday makeup is very, very custom. It's not just like a one size fits all type of thing. Okay, so basically I have like two main tips for everyday makeup. First tip is know your skin type. Basically just find out if you feel like it gets really dry at the end of the day, or if by the end of the day you're like really shiny and greasy, or maybe in just certain areas, and then maybe you have combination skin. But basically, like, those are the three main types: dry, oily, or combination. So figure out what type of skin you have, do a little bit of research. It's sometimes like you can tell if your skin is dry or if it's just oily, but it will come in handy because that is going to help you choose the products that you use and that you buy for your everyday makeup or for your glam makeup, for your makeup in general. Okay, so that is really, really important. Okay, and then the other tip, and yeah, it's like a tip. What features do you love about your face, and what aren't your favorite? Okay, what are like your concerns? Okay, so for example, one of my concerns is my dark circles. Right now I'm right in front of the window and the light is hitting directly my face, so it kind of helps disguise that. But like, if I'm not right in front of the window, like everywhere I go, like I have pretty dark circles. So that is one of my concerns. Some people don't have very dark circles, so maybe that's not one of their concerns. Okay, so one thing that I do like about my face would be my eye shape. Don't get me wrong, I love eyeliner when it's time for glam, but for every day, I feel like it's not a necessary step for me. I can get away without using eyeliner, and I feel like I still look awake. Because if I wasn't as happy with the shape of my eyes, I could do eyeliner to maybe elongate them or make them more round, because it's all about illusion. So I hope that makes it clear, and what I'm trying to say about how pick certain things that you could do that help kind of tweak some things, just so that we can look fresh and awake and not tired. That's basically how, when I think of everyday makeup, that's how I think about it. It's a makeup look that makes you just look fresh and alive and not super tired. Okay, so yeah, that's basically my tips. And now we're gonna jump into the tutorial part of it. I'm gonna show you guys what I do, but then I'm also gonna be talking through it, so it's gonna be a little chatty, but it is what it is. I hope that some of you find this helpful, okay? All right, so I zoomed you guys in just a tiny bit closer so you guys can see what I'm doing. Again, I am I'm sitting right in front of the window, so the natural light is amazing light and it makes everything look a little bit better. So I don't use foundation for everyday makeup. I just go in with concealer. So today I'm going to be using the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer in the shade Ginger right here. Okay. And I told you guys one of my concerns would be my dark circles. So that is what we're going to correct a little bit. And because it's everyday, it's almost like a no makeup type of look, but not really. It just depends on what is your favorite. So basically add a little bit right on this part if your concern is dark circles. Okay. And then I don't like to go like this. I'll just put a little bit there and then a tiny bit here. I actually learned this from this makeup artist here on YouTube, Robert Welsh, I believe. And I like that he does it like this because if you do think about it, the darkness is mainly always here and right here on this corner. In this space, it can be, but it's not as noticeable, I think. Okay. And then just go in with your finger and blend that out. Oops. Okay. Using your finger is really good because that's going to help melt that into the skin because your finger has a little tiny bit of heat in there. So just kind of tap it. Tapping, tapping, tapping. Look at that. And I bring it on my eyelid because my eyelids are also dark. They're a little dry, but that's okay. I told you guys I have dry skin. Okay. And now you can just kind of blend everything together. And many times I will just use my fingers, like, let's be real. But if I have a little bit of extra time, I will use my sponge or a brush. I do prefer the sponge though, again, because you dampen it and it helps add some moisture. Okay, so for today I am gonna go in with a brush though. Remember guys, I talked to you guys about a kabuki brush. Just kind of go in and you can tap kind of around those edges. Look up. Don't swipe until until it's more blended. If it's not completely blended and you start to swipe, then you are going to remove some product. But once it's completely blended, you can swipe a little bit. Okay. So I think we are looking a little bit better. Okay. Just make sure it's really blended out. And then depending on the concealer you're using and on your skin type, you can set this. A lot of the times I actually won't set it, again, because my skin is dry. So imagine if I didn't know that and I would set it, it would look very, very dry. Sometimes when I do a full face, I will set it, or like just sometimes I will set it, but very like the tiniest amount of powder. Okay. And that's that. And then sometimes, like, I have a little bit of hyperpigmentation down here, so I'll do a little bit of concealer there. Okay, so right here in the corners of the mouth. Sometimes I'll see a little bit here. It's like right here. So basically it's kind of like spot concealing. And you can see how you can do this pretty fast. Okay, sure it's really blended. And sometimes I'll just bring like my sponge or brush a little bit over. Just, again, you really want to make sure it's nice and blended because you don't want it to look like, bam, you just got concealer on if you're not using foundation. If you want more coverage, if you feel like you need a little bit more coverage, then that would be an extra step that you would have to take. Okay? All right. And that's that part. And then now another thing is if you feel like you need to fill in your eyebrows, totally do that. I actually don't think I absolutely need to fully fill them in. So that's why I got myself the Anastasia I think it's the brow gel, dip brow gel. Yeah, the dip brow gel. And this is in the shade dark brown. And I actually really love this thing. It's super easy to use. And I always start at the end of the brow. So if you have really beautiful, thick, full eyebrows, or if you like the way your you know, more lighter eyebrows or finer, whatever. If you like the way your eyebrows look, you don't have to do this. I just want to add a tiny bit. So look at what happened already. I hope you guys were able to see that. Okay, and then, but very lightly with eyebrow gels that have tint on them, you do have to work very lightly. Okay, and it's mainly at the end. Notice it's a little bit sparse. And I'm just kind of rubbing it lightly, and then if I want to get darker, I will rub a little bit harder. Okay. Be very careful. To not overdo it. I'm actually using my Apple Watch for my viewfinder or whatever. That actually is very handy. So that's for the brow part. Okay. Now, what else? Some people like to look a little bit more bronze. I actually prefer blush for every day. I'd rather have blush than bronzer, but you pick whatever you want. If you want to look, if you want both, do both. If you know, one or the other. I just personally love the way blush looks. For every day, try to find yourself a blush that has maybe a little bit of brown in it, so that it doesn't look like bam pink or bam pink peach, unless that's what you're going for. But I'm gonna be using the Chanel blush. This is in the shade Elegance. When I went to buy this, the lady was like, oh, that's a shade way too light for you. But I really wanted it because it looks so good on one of my coworkers, and I was like, I think it'll look good on me. And it actually does, even though it's meant for lighter skin. This is a really nice one. And basically, the way that I put it on, I like kind of contour a little bit with it. I'll just kind of bring it up right here. Like, it's nothing super technical. If you put it more right here, you can, but because my face is a little bit more like square round, I like to kind of make it look a little bit longer. So just like that. And the nose, I love putting a little bit of blush on the nose. I think it's super cute. And then sometimes I'll just like whatever, you know, but that's basically it. A little bit here, a little bit there. No bronzer for me, but if you want to do bronzer, you go ahead and do that. Okay, and then the other thing that I like to do, you can use your blush or your bronzer, whatever. I like to put just one shade right here on the crease, like a very neutral brown shade. So, and I think I'm just gonna use that same blush. Yeah, it's a really pretty color. Did I show you guys? It does look light, right? But it does show up. And basically, I'm just kind of wiggling the brush, windshield wiper, circles, right on like this part. You can put it just all over the lid. It's fine. Because it's a very natural shade, it is very forgiving. So don't be afraid. And that's it. You can already see how it made a difference. And then what I remember, I told you guys I don't do eyeliner. That's just me. But if you want to, you can do that. What I like to do is just gonna grab this little brush from Real Techniques and grab that blush and put it right under on the outer corner. Okay. And there are times where I actually want that a tad bit darker. So I could either go in with my bronzer or just like a little bit of a darker brown that I have. And just to help define that a little bit more. But it's the tiniest bit right here. Right there. Can you guys see the difference? And that same brush that I used to apply the eyeshadow, was it this one? I forget. but very similar like this. Just kind of help blend it a little bit. And that's it. Okay. And then if you love to look like you're glowing, because don't we all, you grab your highlighter. You can use cream products, cream highlighter. I actually want to get more into that because again, my skin is more dry, but I'm very used to working with powders. So I don't really have any cream products to show you guys. So I'm grabbing a little bit of that Omrizi highlighter. Very gorgeous, very stunning. And I'm gonna put that a little bit right here. This one's intense, so a little bit goes a long way. I know we all love it, but I think for every day, really try not to overdo it. Don't forget the inner corner. I use my pinky like all the time. And then a little bit on the brow bone. The pinky. Okay. All right. And basically, I'm not a lipstick girl. I wish I was. I want to get more into it, but I'm just naturally not. I always just line my lips and call it a day. And one of my favorite lip liners, I have two. There's one that's like Wild Clover, and this one is called Spice from Rimmel. Rimmel has really good lip liners. Did I say eyeliner? I meant lip liner if I said whatever. Lip liner. Again, this one is by Rimmel, and I'll just line my lips super quick. I like to line them because I don't think my lips are super defined. But if my lips were, I probably wouldn't do this. So I keep saying, just depends on what you want to enhance, what you don't want to enhance. Okay? And that's it. I'll literally walk out the door like this and make sure I have chapstick in my pocket so that lips don't get crusty. And then for the final thing for me is my eyelashes. I'm gonna be honest, I'm lazy with my eyelashes. They're not the cutest. They're super straight, and I actually don't have, they're not super full. Like they literally go down. When I have extra time, I will take my time to curl them, fully curl them and put on mascara. But if I'm being completely honest, there are many times that I actually walk out the door just like this. So, oh, and then for final step, I always like to do some setting spray or a little bit of MAC Fix Plus. If you feel like you have a hard time making your makeup last, get yourself an actual setting spray, because there's like dewy sprays and then there's the setting sprays. I don't, like, my makeup will fade a little bit during the day, but because it's like minimal, it's not that as obvious. So I'm gonna be using the Fix Plus by MAC. This stuff is so good. It leaves you so dewy and I love it. Couple of sprays. If I was doing mascara today, I also would do that after spraying my face. Okay, what do we think? That's basically it, guys. That is my everyday makeup. I hope that you learned something. This is all very custom to you, to what you like. So, you know, if you want to do eyeliner and skip the concealer, you can do that. If you want to do brows and like me and your lips, then you're good. It's all about whatever you want. Okay, have fun with it. Don't think about it too much, because sometimes we try to, you know, put on all these products and think that it's gonna look as natural, but sometimes it doesn't. So, okay, I hope that you guys learned something. We had another tip that I almost forgot to mention: lighting. Wherever you're doing your makeup, make sure that it is good lighting. I always say try to go next to a window. I'm literally right in front of a window, and that's gonna be more realistic. Like when, you know, you won't do your makeup in your bathroom and then when you go outside it looks crazy. So lighting is super important. So try to find a spot that it's not just artificial lighting. Okay. I think that's it. I can't think of anything else I can say. Concerns. Now, something that I love about my face. What do I love about my face? What? Oh shit. I think I like the shape of my eyes. I really like, yeah, I like the shape of my eyes. Oh my God.